The Australian wilderness, breathtakingly beautiful, vast and unforgiving. For some, it's an escape, a sanctuary from the chaos of modern life. But sometimes this sanctuary becomes a strange and unspeakable tragedy. In this video, we unravel the chilling case of two elderly campers who vanished in Victoria's remote Wonnangatta Valley in 2020. A mystery that stunned the nation, and the man at the centre of it all, Greg Lynn, a former commercial pilot whose story took a dark and deadly turn. Wonnangatta Valley, nestled in the Victorian Alps, is one of Australia's most remote and pristine wilderness areas. Accessible only by rough dirt roads and mountain tracks, it's a haven for campers, bushwalkers, and hunters seeking solitude. But the valley's beauty hides its dangers. Unpredictable weather, difficult terrain, and its extreme isolation make it unforgiving. A place where help can be hours, even days away. Carol Clay and Russell Hill were no strangers to the outdoors. Both in their early 70s, they shared a passion for camping and hiking that spanned decades. Carol, 73, was known among friends and family as adventurous and independent. Russell, 74, was a former engineer described as practical and resourceful. Together, they were experienced campers, prepared, cautious, and careful planners. The pair had travelled extensively, but this trip to Wonnangatta Valley was meant to be special, a final adventure, a retreat to nature's untouched beauty. On March the 19th, 2020, Carol and Russell set out on their trip, fully equipped for the remote camping experience. They planned to stay at Bucks Camp, a small isolated clearing deep within the valley. Their last confirmed sighting was on the evening of March 20th at Bucks Camp. After that, they vanished. When Carol and Russell failed to return or make contact with family, concerns mounted. Search efforts were launched immediately, but the terrain and conditions made it difficult. The valley's thick forests, steep slopes, and remote access routes hampered searches. Days stretched into weeks, and despite extensive efforts, no sign of the couple was found, except for one grim discovery. Investigators eventually located the couple's campsite, but it had been ravaged by fire. The tents, sleeping bags, and personal belongings were reduced to ashes. This was no ordinary bushfire. The site had been deliberately set ablaze, suggesting an attempt to destroy evidence. In the midst of the search, one name emerged as a person of interest: Greg Lynn, a former Jetstar pilot who had also been camping in the Wonnangatta Valley that same weekend. Lynn was an experienced outdoorsman and a man with a disciplined background, but soon police suspected that beneath his calm exterior was something far more sinister. Greg Lynn's account of the night was chilling. He claimed that during a confrontation, his shotgun accidentally discharged, killing Carol Clay instantly. He then said Russell Hill attacked him with a knife, forcing Lynn to kill Russell in self-defense. But the police weren't convinced. They conducted a painstaking investigation, gathering forensic evidence, examining satellite data, and reviewing camera footage from nearby areas. More damningly, Victoria Police used covert recordings, secretly capturing Lynn's conversations where he made contradictory statements and, at times, seemed to admit to actions far beyond an accident. Lynn's attempts to cover up the crime became clear. He had burnt the campsite, hidden the bodies, and tried to mislead investigators about his whereabouts. This wasn't a panicked reaction. It appeared calculated an effort to erase all traces of the horrific events. In late 2021, after months of searching, Lynn led police to the remains of Carol Clay and Russell Hill. For the families, this was a devastating confirmation of their worst fears. The couple had been brutally murdered. Greg Lynn's trial began in the earnest of 2023. The prosecution argued for a clear narrative of murder and cover-up, presenting evidence of Lynn's deliberate destruction of the campsite and his attempts to conceal the bodies. The defense painted a different picture of a man who had acted in self-defense during a tragic accident, overwhelmed by panic and fear. After weeks of testimony, the jury delivered a surprising verdict. Lynn was found guilty of murdering Carol Clay, but acquitted of killing Russell Hill. This split verdict baffled many, including Russell's widow, who struggled to understand how someone could be acquitted of killing her husband, yet found guilty of killing Carol. The case sparked intense debate. Was justice served, or did the complexity of evidence leave room for doubt? Russell's widow expressed heartbreak and confusion, questioning how the law could draw such a distinction when both deaths were intertwined. Psychologists suggest that crimes in remote wilderness settings often involve complex dynamics. Isolation, fear, and survival instincts can drive people to extreme actions. Legally proving intent and separating fact from self-defense in such cases is incredibly challenging, especially with limited witnesses and physical evidence. Beyond the courtroom, the human cost of this tragedy resonates deeply. Families of Carol and Russell endured agonizing months of uncertainty followed by profound grief. The local community in Victoria's high country was shaken, a reminder that even in the quietest corners, darkness can emerge. Greg Lynn has filed an appeal against his conviction, continuing to assert his innocence. The legal battle may drag on for years, leaving many questions unresolved. And the Wonnangatta Valley, as beautiful as ever, keeps its secrets close. This case highlights the challenges law enforcement faces in investigating crimes in remote wilderness areas, where evidence can be lost and witnesses are scarce. It also reminds us to respect the power of nature and the importance of safety and preparedness when venturing into the wild. The Wonnangatta Valley murders are a haunting chapter in Australia's true crime history, a story of tragedy, mystery, and justice complicated by the wild itself. What truly happened in the remote valley? Was the full truth revealed in court, or are shadows still lurking in the trees? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case. Do you think justice was served? What do you believe really happened in the Wonnangatta Valley? Comment below, and if you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe, and share. Together, we'll keep uncovering the stories behind the headlines. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe and keep seeking the truth.